Oh my God, you guys. It is so beautiful outside right now. It's, I think, the second or third day after the spring equinox. It's spring. In the northern hemisphere, wherever you're listening from, it's spring. Technically, energetically, everywhere, it's spring. And if you're in a different hemisphere, you're going to experience spring energy in a different way. But I'll speak to northern hemisphere spring energy. And I'm walking outside. I live in Southern California. I'm in my suburban neighborhood. And I don't know if this resonates with some of you folks out there. And I think, when I was younger, I would be like, oh, the neighborhood always looks the same. It's so boring here. As a teenager, nothing ever changes. Yada, yada, yada. All those things. It's so boring. I don't get enough dopamine hits from my neighborhood. And I've been walking my neighborhood for a good part of the last, 2 years. Really walking it. In the beginning, walking, I'm and this is a part of my body journey. It's silly to say, but walking, especially when you live in California, where you're very dependent on transportation, cars for transportation, there's not good public transit. You're always in a fucking car. So you're not in a walkable city when I went to Tokyo, which I absolutely loved. I went to Tokyo in October of 2023. And I loved how everything was so accessible through public transit. Everybody walked everywhere. And it was really funny because I was having this conversation with my partner. I was like, why is everybody so skinny here? Because everybody's on their fucking feet. And it makes so much sense. But now that I started my walking practice, or since starting my walking practice, it's really interesting to notice what I do notice now that I go on my walks in my neighborhood, almost every day. And that thought dialogue that I would have in my mind about the neighborhood's so boring, it always looks the same, walking is boring, blah, blah, blah. It's silly. It's so silly. Everything looks different today. Everything has flowers on it. The bees are out. The birds are chirping like hell. You heard it probably in the last last couple episodes that you could hear the birds in the background. You might hear some birds in this one. And everybody's lawns look a little bit different. The scents, the smells, even the energy in the air, the warmth of the sun. It's different. I still wish I could see more people outside, though. One day I'll come back to this podcast episode and I'll say, yay, it finally happened. People are going out again. So, yeah. And I wanted to share a little bit of tips on this episode. Tips to elevate your gratitude practice. And I know, even me, for a long time, I'm like, ew, gratitude's so boring. Gratitude practice, meh. But the point of a gratitude practice is to get you into the energy, the frequency, the vibration of gratitude, so that you can see opportunity every day in your life, so that you will open up energetically and see what blessings you do have around you, the abundance, the prosperity. And without the energy of gratitude, I wouldn't be able to see what I do have around me, that I do have resources, that I am so well loved, that I am so supported. And as a vice versa, as a 180, just for an example, if you were in the energy of fear, you would, remember, don't think too deeply into it, but just recall a time where you were really afraid. You would close off, maybe shut down, you might run away, you might not be as clear or be able to see everything around you. You just want to fucking get away because it's so frightening. And then remember, and as a contrast to that, remember those times where you're open and feeling love and joy and excitement. It reminds me of little kid energy too. Little kids are open to everything. They're just so excited to take on the day. And I want to bring that. I love that energy so much. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have gotten into snowboarding at the age of 33. And I can't believe I'm saying that because part of me is man, it's been 7 years since I started snowboarding. It feels like yesterday. I still deeply love it. And I'm getting to the point where I'm I want to do different things with snowboarding. Different tricks. I want to start doing tricks on my snowboard. So, but when we went on our snowboarding trip, I realized I had been a lot more sedentary this past year than I normally have been in the past leading up to a snowboarding season. So I was just I am out of shape. Thus, it's been a message for me lately. It's start gently introducing running, which in the past I'm you don't need running. That's what I used to think. I don't need running at all. Who needs running? I might injure myself, blah, 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 mess up my knees or whatever. I'm but then when I look at it from take a step back from those thoughts and look at it objectively, I'm not running marathons here. I'm just going for a light run. That's all you really need to just get the blood moving. And it was interesting to notice when I worked the convention center jobs earlier in the week, that when I was on my feet for 12 hours a day, my blood pressure was lower at the end of the day. And I wasn't stressed out or anything. I was just in the moment, doing a job. And I was just thinking about it. I was there's something to this. And it feels like I had relieved myself of the energy that I would store up being in stillness for extended periods of time. And the well-quoted title of a book, The Body Keeps the Score. And that's related to trauma. But you can break that down and take it into your daily life, that message or meaning in that, and realize that your body, unless you have a daily practice, you're accumulating energy. You're never relieving yourself of it. And that's why self-care is so important. And that's why people have high blood pressures over years and years of doing what they always do every day instead of being in ease and flow, rolling with the punches of each day, and changing your routines. We're humans. We are nature. We are part of nature. I don't know where the idea of we are separate from nature comes from, but we are part of nature. We are we are a biology. We're made of the same atoms as everything else. So why not treat ourselves seasonally? Like, this is the season, this is my season, or I'm menstruating this time of the month, and this is what I need to do during my menstrual cycle season. There's like different ways to approach it. And don't be overwhelmed. Just pick one if you haven't tried it, and notice how you feel in each phase. So like there's the physical seasons. How are you in your physical seasons? Like winter, summer, fall. And then there's like the cyclical hormonal seasons that women go through every month. And I went on a tangent, so let me go back to the gratitude practice. So I wanted to share different approaches to the gratitude practice, because there's so many ways to do this to keep you in the energy of gratitude and keep it fresh. Like, if it feels stagnant and boring, feel free to be creative with it and make it your own. And I think that's the point. Like, if you don't make it your own and play with it, your own practices, then how are you going to step into the energy of gratitude? And that being said, you don't exactly have to always feel gratitude every time you're doing it. The intention is what matters. The intention behind your practice is like the most important thing. So anyways, first thing in the morning, start with 5 things you're grateful for. And it could be anything. Just make sure they are different every day. And you're going to start more broad and more general terms. And like, I'm grateful for the roof that I have over my head. I'm grateful for the clothes on my back. I'm grateful for the food I get to eat every day so that I can keep going. And then as you graduate, because you're going to run out of things to say that are more broad, you're going to get more detailed naturally. I'm grateful for that challenging moment I had yesterday that helped me learn about myself. It was an opportunity to learn about myself and then grow from it so I can be stronger. Something like that. And then when you really get into the practice of gratitude, ooh, there's a kitty. Oh, you're a sweetheart. I love the neighborhood cats around here. There's so many of them. They just hang out. And if you've been a person or you are past I'm tired of just telling myself I'm grateful. And if I am grateful doesn't hit anymore, start saying you are grateful. When you use you instead of I, it hits differently. And subconsciously, our parents, when we were younger, we were programmed with you phrases because our parents told us you are XYZ. Like when they address us, they use you. Or you can use your own name to address yourself, and it mimics that. You're using that same framework, but it's from yourself for what you need today. Super powerful stuff. And then lastly, and feel free to not do this in any order. If you want to play with it and combine it in any way, it's so good, so powerful. Getting in the energy of play, you'll get into the energy of a more open energy. And in play, you get connected to joy and excitement and other things like that. Other energies similar. So the last one, to really elevate your gratitude practice, stack it with other practices, like, not practices, well, actually everything is a practice. Everything you do every day, every single minutia of every moment of your day is a practice, if you choose to view it that way. But it sure is helpful. You can be self-caring yourself, as an example, and say you're putting lotion all over your body and you're lotioning your feet, and as you massage the lotion in, you can say, I am grateful for you feet. Sorry, I got distracted by the FedEx truck. I am so grateful for you feet. Thank you for carrying me. You don't even have to address them as feet if that feels weird, but I mean, if it feels weird, fucking do it. Like, if it feels weird, just fucking do it. And you're teaching your body to feel safe and love itself regardless. If anything ever feels weird, but you step through that weirdness, you're teaching your body, you're teaching yourself to love yourself. Your body will learn to love yourself through it. And if you start with the small things and you keep practicing doing the small things, you'll be surprised, like, over time, how differently you feel in the months ahead. So as you're massaging your feet, I'm so grateful for you for carrying me throughout my day, carrying me to all my adventures, carrying me to the fridge so I can eat. Thank you for being a stable support. Anything that you can think of. And then you can do the same for your hands, your head, your mind. You can do it for your heart. You can do it for your private parts. You can do that. Like, how often do we ever talk to our private parts? They're such a special part of us, and we never give it the attention. Hardly. I say we because we haven't been taught to give it the attention it deserves. Only because nobody knows to do that. Not a lot of people know to do that, so why would we be taught to do that? So, and then I'm going to add one more thing because it just came to mind. Switch grateful for I appreciate you. Appreciation is another word for gratitude, but it hits different. I don't know why it has a different ring to it for me sometimes, and I love using the word of appreciation, especially when I'm sharing it with another person. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate you so much. Oh my God, and it feels so good. Like, even when I was just saying it, like, switch the word to appreciation, I felt different, like, saying it. So I hope these tips and tricks help you. Leave comment on Spotify if that's where you listen to me. I have the comments open in Substack, and I also open up chat in Substack, so you can do a little chitty chat in there with me too, if you're into that. Otherwise, you all know where to reach me. I have my email. It's all in the show notes. I'm on TikTok and Blue Sky now. And I hope you all have a blessed rest of your spring season. I will definitely be putting out more content before that. I'm making it sound like this is the end. I'm not going to give any more content for the rest of spring. No. Oh, and then let me add one more thing, because this just came up for me in mind. Hopefully I didn't share this before, but I want to share it again. It feels like something to share again anyways. So every year, and I've shared this tidbit on the podcast before. I historically hated summer. I have like this interesting relationship with summer. Everybody loves summer. I'm a winter baby. I was born in winter. I fucking love the cold. I love being bundled up. I love sitting with a hot cocoa or whatever warm drink in hand. Maybe a mulled wine. Who knows? Whatever is there for me. Fireplace. Favorite vibes. Favorite time of the year. That's when I get to snowboard and be crazy active. And you know what it is? And if I'm going to be quite honest, it's because I have this relationship with my body where summer feels like being like in my programming. It doesn't have to be, but it's like being like in bikinis and being half naked out there and splashing around in the water, which is like, it's really fun. But I think part of it for me, and I'm being very like vulnerable and honest, which is like my normal state, is that I didn't like showing off my body. In fact, I probably like a couple of years ago, like I've been more open to wearing shorts. And it was so crazy because the moment I put shorts on and let myself walk outside, I started crying because I was like, I did not let my legs feel the wind, and it feels so good. And I was like, this is what I've been missing out on, because I was so scared to show my legs in public. I can go more into the body journey later. Why all this came up. Like I'm a millennial. I like had all the weight things and all that stuff. The weight conditionings. And what was it? Oh yeah, summer. So last year I set the intention that I'm going to love summer. I'm going to learn to love summer. Like, why is it that I'm thoroughly enjoying winter, spring, and fall, and there's these 2 or 3 months of really hot weather and I'm completely miserable? Misery is a choice. And I say that knowing that people have circumstances, and many love, blessings to them, and support. There are circumstances, things are circumstantial. So this year I decided, well, I already know that summer is coming. Spring is here. I fucking love spring. Spring is gorgeous. And I decided this year to keep my intention to learning to love summer, but also use spring as a time to get my head ready for summer. Get my mind prepared for summer, that I'm going to enjoy summer this year. And we all do this, right? If we don't prepare our minds for work, then we're going to have a shitty day. Get our minds in the game. Get our head in the game. Kind of deal. Same idea, except I'm giving myself all of spring to do that, which I don't even know what that means here in California, because all the seasons seem to blend together. But anyways, you get the point. So that's my intention for this year for summer. I am using spring to help me transition to summer. And that's what spring is, a transition into the hotter, warmer months. And that's that. That's all I wanted to share. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Leave a comment. Thank you. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.